You just dropped 800 bucks at the shop, new pads, new rotors. The mechanic even gave you that look, you know the one? The you're welcome face. 3 weeks later, you're braking at the Walmart intersection and your car starts screaming. Same noise, that same embarrassing squeal that makes the guy on the sidewalk turn and stare at you. You know that look too. So let me ask you this. Was the problem the brakes or was it the mechanic? Stick with me until the end of this video, because what I'm about to show you is the exact same protocol that certified European service centers follow before they replace a single part. And there's one step that most American shops skip, and it's the reason that squeal comes back in less than a month. You're going to understand exactly why. If you're new here, hit that like button and subscribe. Every week, I drop content like this. No fluff. No upselling your parts. You don't need. Drop a comment right now. Have you ever paid for a brake job and had the squeal come back? Just type yes or no. I want to know how many of you have been through this. Let me tell you about Mike. Mike lives in suburban Detroit, drives a 2018 Chevy Equinox. And in 2 years, he got his brakes done 3 times. New pads, new rotors, even had the brake fluid fluished. He spent close to $1,200 total. The squeal always came back. Always in the same spot, that long curve before the highway on ramp, when he G's gently onto the brakes. One day, a buddy of his, a mechanic from Cleveland, came to visit. He heard the noise, grabbed the floor jack, pulled the wheel, looked at it for 10 minutes, and fixed the problem for free. 40 minutes. New parts. You know what he did? Exactly what I'm about to teach you. But first, you need to understand something most people don't know about brakes. Brake squeal is not a wear problem. It's a vibration problem. Say that again to yourself. Vibration, not wear. When the brake pad presses against the rotor, that contact creates friction. Friction creates heat, and under certain conditions, the entire system starts vibrating at a specific frequency, typically between 1,000 and 16,000 hertz. That vibration is exactly the sound you're hearing. It's physics, it's mechanical, and it has an identifiable cause. The number one cause in the US is glazing. In stop-and-go traffic on the 405, the I-95, the 290, you might brake 50 times in 6 miles. Brakes that never get hot enough, that never reach their ideal operating temperature, develop a hard, shiny layer on the surface of the pad and rotor. That layer is called glazing. A glazed surface doesn't have the grip it was designed for. Instead of clean friction, you get micro vibration turns into squeal. The number 2 cause is rust. Rotors are made of iron. Iron rusts. After a rainy night in Chicago, or just morning dew in Atlanta, a thin layer of rust forms on the rotor. That's totally normal. And under regular braking, it goes away on its own. The problem is, when it builds up unevenly, or gets trapped between the pad and rotor, then it becomes squeal and vibration. The number 3 cause is the one almost nobody talks about: contact points. Every brake pad has clips, shims, and metal tabs that slide inside the caliper bracket. If those points are rusty, dried out, or contaminated, the pad can't float freely. A pad that doesn't move right vibrates. A pad that vibrates squeals. That 3rd cause is exactly what the method I'm about to show you targets with surgical precision. All right, let's get into the step-by-step. Pay attention, because there are 5 stages, and each one has a key detail. To do this at home, you'll need brake parts cleaner spray, a wire brush, 120 grit sandpaper, high temperature grease or copper anti-seize paste, nitro gloves, and a floor jack with jack stands. All of that, buying from scratch, runs you under 40 bucks. At AutoZone or O'Reilly. Compare that to a $200, $300 labor charge. That fixes nothing, and you've already done the math. Step 1, the inspection that changes everything. Jack the car up safely and pull the wheel. Before you touch anything, look at the pad. If it still has more than 1/8 inch, about 3 millimeters of friction material left, the squeal is almost certainly not a wear issue. Most pads have a built-in wear indicator that starts squealing when you're down to about 2 millimeters, letting you know it's time for a replacement. If you're hearing noise with 5 or 6 millimeters of pad left, the pad is fine. Something else is wrong. Replacing the pad won't fix it. It'll quiet down for 3 weeks. and come back. Exactly like what happened to Mike. Now look at the rotor surface. Run your fingernail across it. If you feel a groove, a deep channel, or if the rotor looks mirror shiny like glass, that's glazing. Make a mental note because we're handling that in step 3. Also, check the outer edge of the rotor. That lip of metal around the outside is normal buildup. But if it's sharpened more than about 1/16 inch above the rotor surface, the wear is uneven, and this method alone won't cut it. That rotor needs to be resurfaced or replaced. Step 2. The cleaning protocol. This is where most American shops skip 2 of the most important steps. Spray brake cleaner generously on the entire rotor surface. Both sides. Don't scrub it. Let it air dry. Brake cleaner is formulated to evaporate fast, and it takes all the contamination with it. Oil residue, compacted brake dust, anything interfering with proper pad contact. Now grab the wire brush and go to work on the caliper bracket. That's the fixed metal housing the pad slides in and out of. Clean every surface, every channel, every corner. You're going to find a mix of rust, old grease, and compacted dust. All of it contributes to squeal. Get it all out. That step alone fixes the squeal on a significant percentage of cars, because a contaminated bracket makes the pad sit crooked and vibrate against the rotor. It's that simple. Step 3. Attack the glazing. If the rotor had that shiny mirror look during inspection, grab a piece of 120 grit sandpaper and sand the rotor surface in a crosshatch pattern. Not in the direction of rotation. Crosshatch, you're not trying to remove material or resurface the rotor. You're just scuffing the surface enough to break that glaze and give the pad a proper mechanical surface to work against. Takes about 90 seconds per rotor. Then clean it again with brake cleaner. Do the same on the face of the pad if it also looks polished and hard. And now, the detail that almost no shop in America does. By default, it's called chamfering. You take the sandpaper at a 45-degree angle and knock off the sharp edges on the leading and trailing edges of the pad face. Think of it like breaking an edge on a piece of wood before painting. You're just taking that sharp corner off too. Smooth the pad's initial contact with the rotor during braking. High-performance European automakers do this on every single new pad installation before anything else. It drastically reduces the chance of high-frequency vibration. Takes 30 seconds. And it's not standard practice at almost any shop in the country. If you're learning something here that nobody ever told you, go ahead and hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel keep putting out this kind of content. And if you know someone who just got their brakes done and the squeal came right back, send them this video. It'll save them real money. Comment below. Did you already know about the chamfering technique? Yeah, I didn't think so. Step 4. Lubrication in the right places. This is the most critical step in the whole method. And also, the easiest one to screw up. Grab your brake grease or copper anti-seize paste. Before you do anything else, pay close attention because this really matters. Do not put any lubricant anywhere near the face of the pad or the rotor surface. Nothing. Not a drop. Lubricant on friction surfaces destroys your stopping power and creates a problem way worse than a squeal. You're lubricating only the metal-to-metal contact points. Apply a thin, very thin coat on the back of the pad, specifically where it contacts the caliper piston. Apply it on the caliper slide pins. Those are the 2 bolts that allow the caliper to float and self-adjust. If those pins are seized or stiff, the caliper can't release properly after each brake application. That creates light, constant contact between pad and rotor, which creates heat, which creates glazing, which creates squeal. It's a self-feeding cycle, and it starts with 2 dried-out slide pins that cost 50 cents to maintain. Apply it also on the pad ears. Those small tabs on the sides that slide in the bracket channels you just cleaned, that's the secret. A pad that slides freely, that floats and releases cleanly after every brake application, doesn't vibrate. A pad that's stuck always vibrates. Step 5. The controlled bed-in. Here's a step nobody tells you about, and it's the reason even well-installed brakes keep squealing. If this step gets skipped, bedding in is a controlled thermal cycling process. It transfers a uniform layer of pad material onto the rotor surface, giving the system ideal bite, minimizing vibration, and eliminating the residual glaze the sandpaper didn't fully clear. Find a quiet stretch of road or an empty parking lot. Early on a weekend, morning works before church lets out and before the Costco crowd shows up. Accelerate to 30 miles per hour and apply moderate, steady brake pressure down to about 5 miles per hour. Don't come to a complete stop. Keep rolling slowly. Let the brakes cool for 30 seconds. Repeat that cycle 6 to 8 times. Then accelerate to 50 miles per hour and run the same sequence for 5 times. Moderate pressure. Slow to 5 mph. Keep rolling. Cool down. Repeat. You'll notice a faint burning smell. That's completely normal. That's the pad material transferring to the rotor. It's exactly what's supposed to happen. Your brakes are seating the way they should, probably, for the first time since they were installed. After the begin, drive normally without any hard braking for at least 10 minutes to let the system cool down. Don't park immediately. Keep moving. Now, you know what separates a correct diagnosis from one that has you back at the shop in 3 weeks. But there are situations where this method won't solve it, and you need to know how to spot them so you don't waste your time. If the pad has less than 1/8 inch of material left, replace it. The wear indicator is doing its job. If the rotor has that outer lip more than 1/16 inch above the surface, or if you feel deep grooves when you run your nail across it, the rotor needs resurfacing or replacement. No cleaning method fixes physical wear. If the squeal comes with a metal-on-metal grinding sound, pull over and get it to a professional. That's the pad backing plate making direct contact with the rotor, and it's urgent. And if the squeal only happens for the first few seconds right after you start the car and goes away after 1 or 2 stops, relax. That's surface rust that formed overnight, especially in humid weather. Happens with any iron rotor. Totally normal. Not a problem. Back to Mike from Detroit. His buddy from Cleveland ran exactly these 5 steps. Cleaned the caliper bracket, chamfered the pads that still had 5 millimeters of life left, lubricated the slide pins that were completely seized, did the bedin on a quiet stretch of I-275 on a Saturday afternoon. Mike's 2018 Equinox has been squeal-free for over 8 months. No new parts. No shop visit. No more $400 flushed down the drain. The majority of shops in America don't follow this protocol because proper cleaning and lubrication takes 40 minutes and doesn't make money. A new set of pads and rotors gets slapped on in 10 minutes and generates $200 to $400 in margin. It's not a scam. It's a business model. But it's your money, and now you have the information to make a different call. Next time a mechanic tells you that you need new pads, ask them what the current thickness is. If they say more than 1/8 inch, you know exactly what to do. Drop a comment below. What state are you in? And does your local shop actually diagnose the problem, or do they just show up with parts already on the counter? Genuine curiosity. I want to see how consistent this is across the country. If this video saved you from an unnecessary brake job, or if you're planning to run this method this weekend, tag a buddy in the comments and hit the bell so you don't miss the next video where we go deep on another maintenance topic that shops really hope you stay ignorant about. See you next time.